بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, most compassionate, most merciful. O Prophet, always be mindful of Allah and do not yield to the disbelievers and the hypocrites. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. Follow what is revealed to you from your Lord. Surely Allah is all aware of what you all do. And put your trust in Allah, for Allah is sufficient as a trustee of affairs. Allah does not place two hearts in any person's chest, nor does He regard your wives as unlawful for you, like your real mothers, even if you say they are, nor does He regard your adopted children as your real children. These are only your baseless assertions, but Allah declares the truth, and He alone guides to the right way. Let your adopted children keep their family names. That is more just in the sight of Allah. But if you do not know their fathers, then they are simply your fellow believers and close associates. There is no blame on you for what you do by mistake, but only for what you do intentionally. And Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. The Prophet has a stronger affinity to the believers than they do themselves, and his wives are their mothers, as ordained by Allah. Blood relatives are more entitled to inheritance than other believers and immigrants, unless you want to show kindness to your close associates through bequest. This is decreed in the record. And remember when we took a covenant from the prophets, as well as from you, O Prophet, and from Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, son of Mary. We did take a solemn covenant from all of them, so that He may question these men of truth about their delivery of the truth, and He has prepared a painful punishment for the disbelievers. O believers, remember Allah's favors upon you when enemy forces came to besiege you in Medina. So we sent against them a bitter wind and forces you could not see, and Allah is all-seeing of what you do. Remember when they came at you from east and west, when your eyes grew wild in horror, and your hearts jumped into your throats, and you entertained conflicting thoughts about Allah. Then and there the believers were put to the test, and were violently shaken. And remember when the hypocrites and those with sickness in their hearts said, Allah and His messengers have promised us nothing but delusion. And remember when a group of them said, O people of Yathrib, there is no point in you staying here, so retreat. Another group of them asked the Prophet's permission to leave, saying, Our homes are vulnerable, while in fact they were not vulnerable. They only wished to flee. Had their city been sacked from all sides, and they had been asked to abandon faith, they would have done so with little hesitation. They had already pledged to Allah earlier never to turn their backs in retreat, and a pledge to Allah must be answered for. Say, O Prophet, fleeing will not benefit you if you try to escape unnatural or violent death. If it is not your time, you will only be allowed enjoyment for a little while. Ask them, O Prophet, who can put you out of Allah's reach if He intends to harm you or show you mercy. They can never find any protector or helper besides Allah. Allah knows well those among you who discourage others from fighting, saying secretly to their brothers, Stay with us, and who themselves hardly take part in fighting. They are totally unwilling to assist you. When danger comes, you see them staring at you with their eyes rolling like someone in the throes of death. But once the danger is over, they slash you with razor-sharp tongues, ravenous for worldly gains. Such people have not truly believed, so Allah has rendered their deeds void, and that is easy for Allah. They still think that the enemy allies had not yet withdrawn, and if the allies were to come again, The hypocrites would wish to be away in the desert among nomadic Arabs, only asking for news about you believers. And if the hypocrites were in your midst, they would hardly take part in the fight. Indeed, in the Messenger of Allah you have an excellent example. For whoever has hope in Allah and the last day and remembers Allah often. When the believers saw the enemy alliance, they said, "This is what Allah and His Messenger had promised us." The promise of Allah and His Messenger has come true, and this only increased them in faith and submission. Among the believers are men who have proven true towards their pledge to Allah. Some of them have fulfilled their pledge with their lives. Others are waiting their turn. They have never changed their commitment in the least. It all happened so Allah may reward the faithful for their faithfulness and punish the hypocrites if He wills or turn to them in mercy. Surely Allah is all forgiving, most merciful.